Microsoft will soon require a Microsoft account and internet connection to set up Windows 11 Pro. This was already a thing for home, but now you will officially wait, hold on a second. Yeah, oh my goodness. Yeah, you will officially not be able to use Windows 11, even the Pro version, without a Microsoft account. Oh, it was a matter of time. You either buy the product or you are the product, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, brutal. I part of me wants to go down the path just to rib them a little bit of like, would you have done this sooner if your driver compatibility was better, so it was actually possible?
Roasted.
But I don't know. I don't think that's actually the case. I just wanted to roast them.
Yeah, the fact that like today still you can buy a computer component and install Windows on it, and like the Ethernet driver doesn't work out of the box. It's
insane.
Just, how many actual like network chipsets are there? Probably hundreds. Not probably. Hundreds. Definitely hundreds. But when we're talking the scale of Microsoft as a company, could they have hundreds of network drivers baked in? Yes. Yes, they could.
And how, like, at least in my experience, Linux has had that just so on lock for so long. I've never had a problem with a network driver on Linux. Not once. Okay. And I know some people have.
Wi-Fi back in the day.
I never did for Wi-Fi back in the day either.
Okay.
And I know especially for Wi-Fi, other people did. I'm not saying this was not a case for everyone.
Yeah, okay.
But it was always easier for me. And at least one was always what you really needed, right? Getting at least one way to access the internet was always the big problem. Because once you get the one, you can update things, you can fix everything easily.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Right. So this whole Microsoft account thing was announced as part of Windows 11 Insider Preview Build 22.55.7, which is an extensive rework addressing most of the main issues. That's
and making
optimistic. Drag and drop to taskbar now works. Unbelievable. Color profile, quick settings, task manager redesign, more dark mode themed apps, Mika UI design in more windows, better snap layout picker, new swipe gestures for notifications, quick settings, and start. Have they fixed the issue where when you have a bunch of notifications queued up, you like cannot get at your taskbar, at your system tray rather? That is so annoying. And you have like when you're like trying to like sneak in there between notifications to get something. Start menu folders, folder content previews. Couldn't you do start menu folders in like Windows 95?
A lot of this stuff, honestly, I'm like, when did that originally come in? Vista? Like, wow. Okay.
Expanded dynamic refresh rate support. The release notes clarify that an internet connection is only required for the UBI or first-time setup, but if the PC is for personal use, you will need a Microsoft account to continue setup. Realistically, most people will probably want to use a Microsoft account. Xbox services, finding your device. There are lots of like legitimately good reasons. I don't think you were able to use BitLocker without a Microsoft account. Is that correct?
Okay, so I don't know. Do you use a non-Microsoft account with your computer?
No.
Yeah, I use a Microsoft account.
You know what's funny is I want to, but my Microsoft account like randomly is broken on both my work computer and I think my laptop right now. So if I go into my Microsoft account, it'll be like, manage your Microsoft account. And I click it and like opens a web browser and like takes me to my profile. But my computer just goes straight from booting up to the desktop. And I can't, what was I trying to enable?
What?
I was trying to enable Windows Hello or something. It was like, you need to link an account in order to something. And I was like, but it is. So what I'm kind of thinking is, What I'm kind of thinking is I'll upgrade to Windows 11 and maybe that'll fix my problems.
Okay.
Stop!
Alrighty then. So we're both in La La Land.
Yeah. Jay from Nucleon, who posted this news on the forum, sums it up thusly: the controversial or the mixed reaction to this news. I hope whoever thought of this idea and everyone who approved this steps on a Lego barefoot. What a polite way of saying a pox on you.
Yeah.
A pox on you and your acquaintances all. Anthony's take. Windows is clearly making money via ad and tracking revenue these days, so it makes sense if Microsoft is hoping to transition to a free-to-use model. Still, even Apple doesn't force you to sign into an Apple ID on Mac. Windows is becoming more of a walled garden by the day.
Yeah, for sure. I think I would be less annoyed by it if Microsoft services weren't such trash. Like you're saying with the bug that you've had, trying to use any like Xbox gaming related software on a PC is just the worst experience.
Try to game with a minor.
Bad. With a minor?
Mm-hmm. Like a young person.
Other than like we did last night.
But, right, but I set it up.
Okay.
Find a young person in your life, a cousin or something like that. Try to play a video game with them.
Is the difficulty in like they find it very obtuse to be able to...
It's how difficult it is to even be aware that there is anything blocking certain services from working. Like Minecraft Dungeons would not work online for a minor. And it's like, there needs to be a wizard.
Oh, so
Microsoft.
You didn't just like lie about their age.
No.
Oh, okay.
They have actual minor accounts.
Okay.
And there's no like, hey, we couldn't help noticing that your Microsoft account is a minor one. Is your mom or dad around to sign in and go through this wizard to tick
make sense?
Because that would make sense.
Yeah.
It's awful.
And like the wizard, you have to put in a password to be able to access a wizard, whatever. It doesn't matter. But there should be some type of prompt to let you know what the heck is even going on.
It's freaking awful.
It's so frustrating because you know that it's you know how like there's the 80-20 rule? I feel like they've done like 30% of the job. Like they need a significant amount more effort to get to that 80% where it's like, okay, this is acceptable now. And they're not there. And it's really, really frustrating. And the more that they set it up as a requirement for things, where you have to use this thing,
the more it needs to be better.
Yes. If it just sits there and it's terrible and I don't have to use it, then I don't care.
Yeah, go be terrible in a corner, Microsoft Online.
Do whatever.
Whatever.
But if I have to use it, it needs to be significantly better. There's a reason why we didn't talk about this pretty much at all for years. It's because we didn't have to interact with it. And now that the amount that we have to interact with it is increasing, we're going to talk about how terrible it is because it's terrible. That's it.
Really, really frustrating. Digital Matrix IO says under 13 is really hard because of COPPA. Fair enough. But I think what I suggested is better than just having a hidden control panel for the parent account that has no like obvious way to create a family group in it and no obvious description of all the different boxes that you need to tick in order to actually just play games with your kids. And here's another thing that's just common sense to me. If I am set up as the parent guardian of my family group, I should automatically be set up as someone who is allowed to interact with
you should be able to invite them to things.
Immediately.
Yeah.
I shouldn't even have to activate their access to online gaming in order for me to play with them and for them to play with each other. Because what if I didn't want to?
Yeah.
What if I didn't want them to be? How is this a useful protection if there's no allow list and no common sense applied to it?
There's lots of scenarios where I could see a parent want it, like let's take Halo for instance. I want to be able to play Halo with my son. I don't necessarily want my son to be able to play Halo on his own. That seems like a very reasonable use case. I don't know. There's a funny comment from Full Plane Chat. Major Mayhem said Microsoft is the MVP of MVP. It means the most valuable player of minimum viable product. Very funny. I liked that. That was good.
Okay, that's pretty funny.
My problem is like I almost think it's below. Like I don't think it's at MVP yet, but that is what it is.